Hi, my name is Sandrine Shimge, and I'm going to talk to you about the how to be an effective manager. And I'm going to talk to you about two main things. One is functions of management, and another is management styles. Because as a manager, needs to know those two things. I'm going to talk about five functions of management. One is planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. Going on planning, planning involves deciding what needs to happen either now or even in the future and have an action plan for that. An example of a task related to this function is to prepare an action plan for the present year uh, about activities that need to be happen or even in the future. Going on the second function of management, we have organizing, and this basically goes hand in hand with gathering workers and resources and then organize them toward achieving the goal of your action of plan. An example of this function can be delegating five staff members to work on a specific project. Going on the third function of management, you have staffing, and in staffing, it's all about job analysis, recruiting new staff members, training your employees about new skills if necessary, or training new employees about skills. An example of this function can be training a new employee about skills of the business, or even training an existing employee about a different methodology that is going to be used during another period of time. Going on the fourth function, which is leading. Leading is all about knowing what needs to be done and getting people to do it. And a task that can be associated with this function is um, identifying a challenge that is facing the business and also gather people to work towards that challenge to overcome it. Last but not least, the function of controlling. This function involves basically evaluating, uh, have we achieved the goal? Have you achieved all the things that you had set in your action plan? And an example of this function is basically uh, control, like evaluating performance of the business and workers in general. Now let's go to the second part, which is management styles. And one is directing. Second one is going to be delegating and discussing. They can even call them the three Ds because they all start with a D. On the first management style, we have directing. And basically, in this style, managers gives direction to employees. They tell them what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. For this style to go well, managers need to be precise. They need to provide big details so that um, employees can get what they are being told to do, and they also need to be direct without sugarcoating messages, because if they sugarcoat, then employees can get the wrong message. So this style can be positive and negative, and one of the strengths of this style is that managers does all the necessary to make directions clear because they hold the key to everything. And another strength is that employees can be rewarded or recognized when they have performed very well. However, it has also weaknesses, and one being that communication is dominated in one way because it's only the manager to employees. He keeps telling them what to do, when to do it. He coaches them. He gives them instructions, and this makes employees rely on him more, and they feel less empowered because they're being told everything. Another weakness that involves in this style is that some employees do not like to be told what to do, therefore they might be less engaged because they're not enjoying the learning experience. Going on a scenario that's related to this style is that, for example, there's a new communication employee in the business, and the manager is giving him instructions of how to post things on their social media page, for example Facebook, how to post, when to post, what to post. So he tells him everything literally. So we go on the second management style, and this is delegating. Delegating is all about promoting through empowerment. So the manager assigns tasks to an individual or to a group of individuals who work together. For this again style to work well, you need to be precise as a manager. You need to to delegate or to assign tasks that are challenging so that employees may learn something, but again make sure that the tasks are not very much overwhelming. Um, Again, you need to keep in mind that you need to do check-ins for employees. You need to to check where how far they are with their progress or with the task that you have given them to do. Are they doing it well? Are they on the right track? Um, so we also have to keep in mind the strengths and weaknesses of this style. And one of the strengths of this style is that the coaching is accomplished primarily through self-coaching. So basically, employees do a self-coaching, and this enables them to gain maturity in terms of gaining skills when they have trained themselves to do them. Um, we do have another strength, which is employees can ask questions until they understand what they are supposed to be doing. So in other terms, they do not rely on employee on managers 100% because they are given tasks to go out there and work on them. So they feel empowered and they feel more independent to work by themselves. However, this style again it has a weakness, as I told you earlier, and a weakness in this is that employees um, they take a big part in decision making, and this can affect the business in terms of what if employees are making the bad decisions? What if they are not making a good decision regarding um, to the business profile or the business goal and objectives? So it requires that managers can should do a track or check in with employees, see if they're doing well, if they're doing a great decision. Again, another weakness in this is that employees might take a long time in understanding as they're coaching themselves. So, in the first style of directing, managers would coach employees by showing them how to do things. But in this one, employees are much more coaching themselves. So, it will take a long time for them to actually get there. But then once they are there, then skills are internalized because they have coached themselves. A scenario that might go with delegating style is, for example, suppose um, your business is looking for a strategy of how to increase customers in the business. So you delegate, for example, 5 employees to work on that. You tell them come back with a strategy of how to increase customers in our business. That is a style of delegating and empowering employees. And I think that that is a good style because they learn more as they are empowered and they do more. Going on the last but not least, management style, we have discussing. And in discussing, they basically it's a style that promotes learning through discussion and interaction between managers and employees. So they may discuss about opportunities, problems, weaknesses, um, and in this style, how it works is that the manager directs the discussion. He facilitates the discussion and makes sure that he asks several questions to employees. So for this to go well, the manager needs to keep in mind that they should ask several questions and make sure that everyone is participating, and also make sure that no one is dominating others. Also you need to prepare question in advance so that you may not lack what to ask employees. Mm, so one of the strengths of this method is that communication is two-way or multi-way. Communication is between managers and employees. They each it's more of interaction, and this really um, gives a sense to employees that they are they are not under anything, but they are like as equal, and they are working toward the same goal. We also do have another strength, that is decision making is on both employees and manager. So here both employees and managers work together to come up with a decision instead of just giving it to one part or the other part. And again in this style, employees are given recognition. They are given recognition. Uh, for example, if employees work well, if they come up with a good thing, if they're more creative, they're given rewards to recognize their efforts. Coming on the weaknesses, we do have um, it can consume a long time because it involves a lot of discussions, questions, answers, comments. So that might take a lot of time. Again, this weakness requires this style for sorry requires employees to be more careful and attentive because they need to answer. So for them to answer, they need to listen carefully to the questions. And this may be a weakness because not everyone is like another. Even each one is unique, and some employees may be distracted or may not like the method of questioning, and they may like practice than just discussion. So this may be a weakness to especially employees. Coming up with a scenario that goes with discussion style is that, for example, a new problem has occurred in the business, and the manager gathers employees together to come up and discuss about it. He asks them questions about the problem, and his aim is to bring a solution, but the solution comes from the employees. So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you for following through, and I hope you have learned something that you may go back and also apply by yourself. Thank you so much.